Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. The Honorable Yogyakarta as the head of the Honorable educators, Musifah of Mahad Afkaaruna. The Honorable Ibu Nur Isma as our speaker tonight. And our beloved santri. First of all, let's pray Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us guidance, happiness, health, and mercy, so we can gather tonight in this place full of barakah. Lord and some hopefully always be given to our Prophet Muhammad, who has brought us from the darkness to lightness, from the Jahiliyah era to the Islamic era. I, Rajadah Haji Ablahan Jiwa, and my partner beside me, Dimas Gibran Maulana Akbar. We will read this event from the beginning to the end. Good evening, everyone. How are you today? Santri, Putra, and everybody rahimahullah. And this special event tonight, we have several agenda as follows. The first one is opening. Second, speech from our lovely musyrik, Bapak Muhammad Nasil Abid. And the third is conversation with Bu Nur Isma. Fourth, Q&A session. To make our time effective and efficient, let's start our special event tonight by reciting Al-Fatihah together. Al-Fatihah. The next there is speech from our lovely Muslim Bapak Muhammad Nasir Hadir. Bapak Nasir Hadir, the floor is yours. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good evening, everyone. How are you tonight? Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. The Honorable K. Syamsul Ma'ari Yogyakarta as the head of Abdul Jalil Sibawi Foundation, the Honorable Educators Muslim Mushrifah Ahad Afkaaruna, the Honorable Ibu Nur Ismah as our speaker tonight, inshallah, and our beloved santri. The first, let's praise Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given us guidance, happiness, health, and also mercy, so we can gather tonight here in the place full of barakah, inshallah. The second, salawat and salam, hopefully given to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has brought us from the darkness to the lightness, from the Jahiliyah era to the Islamiyah era. Oke, Bapak, Ibu, Santri Putra, Santri Putri, Rahimakumullah. I'm standing here. I want to say thank you so much. Yeah, special for Ibu Isma, who has taken the time to share knowledge about how to write a novel. How to write a novel. So if you have any question, you can ask her in the Q&A session later. Okay. And hopefully by following this event, we will get a lot of manfaat, a lot of knowledge. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Okay. And also I want to remind you everyone, this is Global Talk. Global Talk is an event will help every 5 weeks, every 5 weeks. Yeah. On Ahad lagi paing pon or Ahad lagi paing pon or wage. Who still remember? What was I bilang? Ahad lagi Ahad manis, ya Ahad manis. So actually this event will held yesterday night or Saturday night because we have another agenda yesterday. It means pengajian di Habib Lutfi in Mas Buharjo. So we should change the time of agenda tonight. Okay, everyone. And then I'm standing here. I want to say sorry for all of you if there are a lot of shortfalls in the preparing in this event. So everyone, be please be serious and enjoy this event. Hopefully, all of us will get knowledge. Amin ya rabbal alamin. I think enough from me. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Radiat, for your amazing speech. The next agenda is sharing session with Ibu Nur Isma. Before we give time for her, we will share her profile. So, Bu Isma is a researcher in Sunan Kalijaga State Islamic University, Yogyakarta. She also author and she has written some novels. Okay, that's the resource. Because I don't know all about her. That's like you say. So we feel something.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Wow. Thank you for having me here. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to Bapak Kiai Haji Syamsul Ma'arif Mujiharto and also Musrifah and Musrifin. Is that correct? And all our beloved santri, female and male, Uh, I'm very happy to be here, and I do apologize because I was late. I had something to do at home, but Alhamdulillah, finally I can be here in front of you all. So Pak Abid invited me to share my experience, and I actually at the time when Pak Abid asked me, I didn't know exactly what I'm going to share, and then I said that I have written 2 novels. So is it okay if I share my experience of writing novels? And Pak Abid said, yeah, it's okay. So I have written 2 novels. First is Jerawat Santri. Everyone know Jerawat. What is Jerawat in English? Acne, acne. And Santri, it was published in 2006, I think. Yeah, 2006. I think you were not born yet, right? This one is 2006 and this one is 2007. The title is Ja'a Jutek. Anyone knows the meaning of Ja'a? Ja'a is Arabic word meaning teko. Someone is coming. Yeah, but this one, the one who comes is Jutek. What does it mean? Jutek? Jutek is someone who likes to be angry without any reason. Jutek. She has dark face. It's not exactly dark, but she doesn't like to smile. So anytime just wants to be angry and say something bad to her friends. These 2 novels actually a story based on my experience living in Pesantren. So I lived in Pesantren in Jombang, namely Al-Fatimiyah, for 7 years. So from 1990, yeah, 1990 to 1997. 7 years. So if the santri, I think they are living here for 3 years. I mean the oldest generation, the oldest class, right? Almost 3 years. Yeah, almost 3 years. So you need to stay for 4 more years if you want to be like me. I mean, living in Pesantren for 7 years. The first story, the first novel, the story is about how to deal with puberty. So jerawat means a symbol, not symbol, like how to say, sign for someone who are in the time of puberty. So first, so the the character, yeah, the character is female, namely Launa, and she is called Una. Una is dealing with her puberty. So how to deal with body changes like menstruation, and then having acne, and also have change in related to feelings. So she first feel like attraction to opposite sex, and then how to deal with that. So I wrote the story about how to deal with puberty. And this one is about friendship. I remember when I was in Pesantren, I experienced like having friendship with my friend, but sometimes we were fighting. Not exactly fighting, but we didn't talk for like a week or 2 weeks. But later, we forgive each other, and then again we became good friends. And this story is about a girl, namely Masha. I think I forgot it because this is almost uh, Masha. Veda. Her name is Veda, I think. Yeah, but um, let's call her Veda. So the character is Veda. Does anyone have a name Veda here? Oh, okay. So Veda, but in this story is girl, yeah, not boy. So Veda has cousin. Yeah, is that correct? Cousin, but female, yeah. Not yeah, I think cousin. Sepupu. What is how to say it in English? Sepupu. So she has sepupu. They are living in the same pesantren, and her cousin is not quite good in terms of how to say in everyday life. So she is lazy. She likes to be angry. She doesn't um, how to say behave like a good girl in the pesantren. And then and Freda thinks that she's too much. I mean, even she like to how to say uh, she's not friendly to her friends in her room, but she like to get close to the daughter of the kiai because she can get a benefit from that closeness. So like she can how to say she can say that, oh, I don't want to go attending pengajian, and then she just stay accompany the daughter of kiai in the in dalam. Yeah, and this behavior made her friends in her room feel like, oh, it's not good. We have to do something. And then Veda and her friends in her room like made uh, how to say mm, like strategies how to uh, make uh, the Veda sepupu realize that what she did is not good. And um, I forgot how many chapter in this novel, but I think around I forgot uh, what I mean how many strategies Veda have in this story. But once she tried the first strategy, she failed, and then another strategy come, and then failed again, and then another strategy until the end, and finally Veda Sepupu realized, and she asked for forgiveness to her friends in her room. And between these two novels, I like this one more because um, actually this is also based on my experience living in pesantren, how to deal with menstruation, especially for girls, because when we live in pesantren, we are far from our parents. So we have to take care of ourselves, and friends and also seniors are very important for us. When we have question, for example, how to clean blood from our clothes, we can ask our senior or our friends. and how to, for example, count how many days I have menstruation. In this novel, I also tell the story how Una deal with any problem regarding her puberty. That's two, and I think this one is I will leave this book here. So this is a collection of short stories written by santri in Kudus. I forgot the name of a pesantren, but the apa short stories in this book are very genuine, simple, and easy to write. And I wrote epilogue in this book. The title of my epilogue is Everyone Can Write. So maybe this book can inspire you all to write a short story, even like only just everyday thoughts or everyday feelings you can write. And maybe if you can like how to say decide a big theme, and then everyone can write that can be collected in under this big theme, and then you can publish a collection of stories like into a book like this book. And this one, I will also leave this. The title is Feminist Study Reboot. This is also stories. So life stories of the writers, how the writer decides to be a feminist. I will also leave this book here. And this one, the title is Mat Somblang. But this is also based on santri's experience living in Pesantren. So from these all stories and also my experience, I believe that actually you can also write your stories about your experience living in Afkaaruna, and about your feeling, about your dream, about your concern, anything you can write. And I think if we can start by writing diary, that's very, very useful. And I urge you to start learning how to write from now, because writing skills is very important, especially for those who want to pursue higher education in college, and also anyone who wants to study abroad like me. Because when we take a course, in the end of the course, we have to write a paper. And without writing skills, it's impossible for us to finish the task. And also, by writing these two novels, actually, I got opportunity for a scholarship to study in the USA. And then now I'm finishing my PhD in the Netherlands. That's because writing skills. So this is very, very important. And you can start learning and also make it habit by writing diary. For example, when you feel like, oh, I'm so lazy today, you can just write on your diary. You can imagine like how to deal with laziness. And if you have problem with your friends, for example, you can also write in the diary. You can make character based on your friend's character and yourself, for example. That's one strategy that can heal you from loneliness, sadness, and also something that you can use to share your happiness. This is writing. I think I will leave here, and then we can continue with Q&A. Yeah, thank you.
Masya Allah, what a beautiful. Yeah. Begin, Bu Isma. The next is Q&A session. So if you have a question, you can ask for Ifah now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum Bu Isma. My name is Lintang Veda Maulana, or you can call me Mas Veda. And then based on my experience when I writing, sometimes it's hard for me to looking for the idea, and sometimes when I on the progress of the writing, I always lost the idea. So my question is, how to get the idea and keep the idea? Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Mas Veda. So this is male Veda, not female Veda. Okay, that's a really great question. Based on my experience, usually when I get an idea, I write it down, and then I develop the idea by writing the structure. Structure means like kerangka, yeah, kerangka. So for example, to write this novel, I write down the issue or the problem. So for example, I wrote that there is a girl who is dealing with puberty, and then I search for how to say, like what puberty means, and what are the signs of a girl who is having puberty. And then I write answer down. For example, first having physical changes, and then menstruation, having physical in terms of like emotion, having attracted with another sex, for example. And I make these pointers, point of signs, become a chapter. So one chapter dealing with menstruation, for example. The next chapter is how to deal with, for example, acne. And then another chapter is dealing with changes in terms of emotion. So I write them all, and that's become structure. So I have the structure from beginning until the end. Sometimes we cannot finish a problem only in one chapter. So I divide. Okay, the first chapter will explain the beginning of the girl when she has the first menstruation. So I make the story about that. And then the next is I explained about her emotion, because I don't know, maybe this is, yeah, I know, but this is only experienced by girl. So like feeling shy, feeling embarrassed because I have menstruation, and we don't want to talk to our friends or our seniors, something like that. And another one, to develop the idea, I think we can connect with some materials that we get in the pesantren. So in this story, because it is about menstruation, I mean one chapter about menstruation, I connect that idea with kitab fikih. In my pesantren, I learn fikih using Mabadiul Fiqhiyah. And in that kitab, I learn, for example, how long the blood can be said as menstruation. We know about menstruation and then istihado and how to count the days from kitab kuning. So there is also like I use references from Mabadiul Fiqhiyah, and I think you can also use, I mean, insert or incorporate what you have learned in pesantren into your writing. That's depending on the topic or the theme, actually. You can say, for example, you learn about adab here in pesantren, and then your story is about friendship. So you can incorporate what you have learned in pesantren into your writing. So to sum up, it's important for us before writing to make, for me, kerangka or structure. So you know the flow, how the story will go from kerangka. Just write anything that come up in your mind from beginning until the end. And this is not how to say, like this flexible. I mean, it can change anytime. If in the process of writing you think that, oh, I think this idea will be good if I incorporate in this part, or you can also delay if you think that the story doesn't make sense, for example. Yeah. So please make kerangka. So it will help you to keep connected with your idea. Or if you want to share your experience of writing story, so it's okay, Farha. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to ask about how much time did you take to writing one story? Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Farha, for your great questions about the time. Usually, let's say for this one, I think I spent only 2 months to write this novel. So for me, writing is easy once I have mood and I know the story. And for me, writing nonfiction, so this novel is considered as nonfiction, right? No, fiction, fiction. Is easier for me compared to writing nonfiction. Nonfiction, for example, article, journal article, even dissertation, that's nonfiction, that's how to say, more difficult to write. But writing fiction is easier for me. So after I made kerangka or the structure, so I already know the flow of the story. And usually one chapter or satu bab, it's only around 6 pages. One space, 6 pages, and it will take like a day. And if I have, let's say, in this one is, I think around, let me see, 1, 2, 3. But this one is, I think big chapter. The big chapter is ada-ada jerawat. Second is hembusan jerawat, wus wus wus. And the third one is jerawat no way. It's only big chapter, but under this big chapter, there are a small chapter. Like what I said, it consists of 6 pages, one space, and it will take like one day to write. But it depends on my mood, because sometimes I don't have mood to write and have other things to think, and the word is like disappear from my mind, so I couldn't write at all. But for me, writing fiction is much easier than writing nonfiction. Yeah, but I think it depends on the person. Maybe you can write faster than me. It's also possible.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nugraha Suraya, but you can call me Nazan. So my question is, you said that we just need to write anything what's in our mind, but all of that is based on our perspective. But how do we know if our perspective and our writing is accepted by society? Sometimes it is accepted or sometimes it's not. So how do we know that is accepted by society? Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mazan. Mazan, right? Yeah, that's a really challenging question for me because I have to think how to answer. But based on my experience, I like to write anything that has come up in my mind, and then I finish that writing, and I ask my friend first to comment what I wrote, and then I can either develop or maybe delete what I wrote according to my friends' comment or thought. That's one thing that we can, we can do to measure whether our writing is good enough or acceptable by, yeah, let's say from our friends first. And after that, we can also, within our gathering, our attempt to have comment. First, we ask our friend, and then we can ask our teacher, for example. Maybe their comment will be, better than our friends, but it also depends, yeah. And that's one strategy or one thing that we can do, how to measure whether our writing is acceptable or not. But in the beginning, when I write, I don't think much about it will be accepted or not. I just write. That's the next step. And we will have the time how to make our writing better, and then best. But in the beginning, you don't need to worry. And for me, yeah, I don't need to worry about is my writing good enough? Will my writing give benefit for my society? I never thought about that in the beginning of my writing, because once I think about that, that stopped my willingness to write, my eagerness to write, because my mind will full of like worriness, afraid of doing something. That is, oh, I'm afraid if my friends, for example, or my community will not read what I read and then will comment or will give me like bad comment. So in the beginning of my writing, I never, or I don't need to be worried about what people comment will comment about my writing. So just write, and then next step, I will have the time to improve my writing, to make my writing become better and better. For example, when I write dissertation, in the beginning, I never thought about whether my dissertation or my research will be accepted or will give benefit for community or society, or if is it right? Because sometimes when we finish our research and then in the process of writing the result of the research, we, myself, not we, but I always think that what I did is not correct. I always think and have so many questions in my mind. Is it right? Is it correct or not? And when I think that, oh, this is not correct. This is not valid. My data is not enough. I don't have novelty in my dissertation. I cannot continue my writing. I will feel sad. I will not, how to say, feel encouraged to finish writing. But then the first thing that I do is just escape all that worriness, all that afraid feeling. And then I just keep writing. And in the process of editing, in the process of how to improve my writing, I have my supervisor. And my supervisor helped me how to, for example, um, provide valid data, and then how to interpret the data that I got from the field, from interview, from observation. So there is some step, and thinking about, is it right? Is it correct? Uh, will my writing be accepted by society? That's not in the beginning of our writing. That's in the end of our writing. Yeah, I think that's my answer. I hope you are satisfied. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nadira, and my question is, when did you start to write a story, and why do you want to start? Why do you want to start it? Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Nadira. That's really great question. So I start my writing or learning how to write when I was in elementary school. So when I was in Pekalongan. So I'm from Pekalongan. I was born in Pekalongan. At the time, I liked reading book storybook provided by school's library in Pekalongan. So I always brought some books, and then I finished reading that book. And I start learning how to write by writing story in the buku tulis, what to say in English, in my book. So the story was about stepchild. At the time, there was a story in real life. Yeah, in real life, there was a story about Hari Hanggara, who died because the story is like bawang merah bawang putih. Yeah, bawang merah putih, but Hari Hanggara is boy, not a girl. And I also read a book about the story of a stepchild. And then I made a story about the stepchild based on my own imagination in one book. But that's only hand writing, not because I think at the time we didn't have type writer. Yeah, typewriting. We didn't have that machine. So I wrote by hand a story about a stepchild. At the time, I imagined how if my name is written on the cover of book. That's something that I want to achieve. Like there is become a dream. I want to be a writer, so that my name will be written on the cover of a book, my book. And when I continue my study in Pesantren in Jombang, I keep learning how to write by joining we had Ikatan Penulis Muda in Pesantren. It's like how to say writing club, yeah, writing club for santri. And I also join majalah dinding in my pesantren. So I keep learning how to write, especially short story. And I post my short story in on majalah dinding in my pesantren. And that's continue, but I had the opportunity to write a novel only when I become editor-in-chief of Mata Pena. Mata Pena is one division of book publishing company in Yogyakarta. And Mata Pena only published novel based on pesantren story. Yeah. Yeah, it was in 2006 and 2007. So when you read a book about story or maybe novel or short compilation of short story, and then you have something in your heart or in your mind that, oh, I want to be a writer. Just keep that promise, just keep that dream, and try to pursue that dream by doing it. Because dreaming without doing something, it's impossible. You will not achieve that dream. So if you want to be a writer, so you have to start learning how to write. Make it as habit. Although you can only write, for example, one paragraph, it's okay. One paragraph or even one line or one sentence a day. But you make it as habit. Istiqomah is how to say Pak? Yeah. Afdalu min al-fikaromah. Yeah. So istiqomah. So make it something as habit is afdal min al-fikaromah. That's based on my experience.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adia Salam. You can call me Saka. My question is, what is the hardest part when you make a novel, and who inspires you to make a novel?
Wow, that's a really great question. Thank you, Mas Saka. Saka. Okay. The hardest part when I write a novel, which one, yeah? Oh, yeah. How to end a story. that's very difficult. How to end a story. Although I said that I already have kerangka or structure where I can go back to the structure, how to continue story and then how to end story. But sometimes I feel difficult how to say formulate smooth sentence or paragraph to end story. That's really hard. And what I did was I learned from other writers how someone end the story. Sometimes the story end with a question, sometimes with dialogue, and sometimes with a powerful sentence. And I learned how to end a story from other writers, which means that I have to read. I have to read other work from other writers. In this novel, let me see, how did I end the story? With a paragraph, not a dialogue. Let me see this one. So this one is with a letter. So I end the story in this novel with a letter. So uh, yeah, Veda sepupu, Veda's cousin, uh, is reading a letter sent by Veda in this story. Thank you. And who inspired me to be a writer? I think I forgot the name, but the writer of a storybook that I read when I was in elementary school. So the book was published by Balai Pustaka, ya, Balai Pustaka, and I don't know right now whether I mean the government provide some storybooks to some schools in Indonesia. I don't know, but at that time, the Diknas or government provide some books for students in elementary school to read, and I think that's a really great program. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdurrahman Fuadi Marzuki. You can call me Aam. And my question is, since you are interested in writing, how many stories you make and what is your most favorite writing you did? What is the most favorite writing you did?
Thank you, Mas Aam, for the question. That's also another really great question. How many stories did I write? I cannot count because when I was in Jombang in Pesantren, I was appointed as managing editor of Majalah Dinding, and I found that my friends, I don't know, but very few santri who send writing. It can be article or short story to Majalah Dinding. So because I was appointed or in charge as managing editor, I had to be responsible in providing the content of Majalah Dinding. So if there was no santri who sent short stories, so I have to write short stories. And then I publish my short stories on Majalah Dinding. So I cannot count exactly, but novels, I have 2 novels. Short stories, I have many. I cannot count. But when I was in college in UIN Sunan Kalijaga, I rarely wrote short stories. So I start learning how to write non-fiction like article, makalah, paper. But recently I wrote, not recently, last 2 or 3 years, Suara Rahima asked me to write short stories about women issues, and then I wrote about um, about uh, a story. I forgot the name of character, but the message is fighting early marriage. So it's better for us to be prepared before getting married. So try to pursue higher education first, to study anywhere, even overseas. That's the message of my short story. That's about how many short stories I have written. And the second question is the most favorite. The most favorite, I would say, the next novel, I think. My next novel will tell about my experience living in Hawaii when I did my master in the USA. So the character is still the same. She is from Pesantren background, but from Pesantren family. And then I make story how she deal with how to say living outside pesantren in the quote unquote secular environment, how to deal with that. So I think that one is my favorite story or novel, although I haven't finished the story. But I like the setting because the setting is in Hawaii. And I try to recall my experience, my memory when I was in Hawaii. Yeah, thank you for the question.
Cek, cek. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Prince Mera Banjua. You can call me Prince, Mas Prince. My question is, why should you write that novel? Because why should the about puberty? Why not the other? Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's I think our last really great questions. Yeah, thank you, Mas Prince, for the questions. Why should I write this novel? Why should I write about puberty? The idea was simple at the time. Why? Because at the time I was living far from my family, from my parents, from my mother especially. And then I was dealing with my first experience of having menstruation. And it's kind of difficult, not easy, because I don't have someone who can explain to me how to do this, how to do that, how to feel proud of myself with me having menstruation, how to deal with my emotional changes after having menstruation. And then I was thinking like, oh, maybe it will be useful if I write my experience into a story, into a novel, because I believe that everyone likes to read novels more than like journal article. And I address this novel for young readers like mbak-mbak santri. So although at least when they have read this novel, they will understand how to deal with some emotional and also physical changes when they have or in the process of puberty. That's I think very, how to say, important to learn. And learning from novel, I think much more fun than learning from serious book like how to say buku-buku tebal-tebal about puberty. And this one is a much more fun, I think. Yeah. And another thing is that although this book is about puberty, but I didn't cover topic about um, reproduction, health reproduction. And I think this topic is also important for us to understand, to learn. And there are many other topics related to puberty. And this one is only for girls. I think you can write your experience about puberty for boys. And you can incorporate material and also what you have learned from kitab fikih into your story or your writing. Yeah, thank you.
Finally, we come to the end of the agenda. It is question. Let's close our special event by reciting Hamdah together. Alhamdulillah. Well, thank you very much for your time and your attention. And we do just Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.